Monday. So it is Monday, and what is Mondays for? It is for you, the viewers, to answer any questions that you may have and to cover more topics related to running the business administration side of your business. So over the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about item pricing, right? And basically we said there was an equation to come up with how much you should be pricing your items, which is materials plus labor plus profit plus expenses gives us our item price, right? So in the previous video, we talked about how to come up with the cost for your materials. Today's video, we're going to be talking about how to come up with your labor costs. If you're new to this channel, I just want to say, hey, thank you. Please make sure you subscribe. And are you guys ready to start figuring out how to come up with your labor costs? Are you ready? Here we go. So we are working on our labor costs today. Labor costs, coming up with your labor costs isn't really a difficult thing. It can be kind of tedious when you start adding in factors such as health insurance, any additives that you want to be able to give yourself. If you want to be able to do vacation time, you have to add all of that into your labor costs. It also depends on if you have employees working for you or if you're just working by yourself. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to equate for having employees and yourself as well. The reason being is because at some point, even if it's just you working in your business, at some point, the whole point of being in business is to grow and to expand your business. So we're going to start taking money from your products to put it to the side for you to be able to grow your business and bring in extra help. So there are two different types of labor costs in my eyes. Let me just say this before I start. There are so many different ways that you can come up with how to calculate your labor costs. There is no right or wrong way. This is just what has helped me along the way, and so maybe it may help you. You just got to figure out what's best for you in your business. So in my eyes, there are two different labor costs. You have your indirect labor costs and you have your direct labor costs. So what is it? What is indirect? What is direct? Your direct labor cost is basically paying the people who are actually manufacturing the product. So let's say you have bath salts and sugar scrubs, or maybe you bake cakes for a living. Someone is mixing those ingredients in a warehouse. Someone is putting it into a machine, or they're doing it by hand. That's considered your direct laborers. I also think about people who have retail businesses. When you have someone working at the cash register, that's your direct laborers. They're the person that's actually helping the person pick out the clothes or pick out an item. They're talking with them. They're actually ringing them up. If you run a warehouse, let's think about the people who are putting the items in a box to ship it off to the post office. Your drivers, those are your direct laborers. When I think of indirect laborers, those are more of the people such as the owners of the business. if you have managers or supervisors or receptionists who answers the phone, or you have someone who's dedicated to answering customer service for emails. Let's say you have a corporate office and you have HR, you have marketing, you have a payroll specialist, anyone working in those areas. Those are considered indirect because they don't necessarily contribute to the direct labor of what it takes to make that product or that good. If you hire a cleaning crew to come in once a month, that's technically considered a part of your indirect labor. If you have a security company that works for you, that's indirect labor. Okay, so basically what I do to come up with the price for what I want to pay the direct labor and the indirect labor is how much do I want those positions to get paid per hour. So if it's just you working in your business, how much do you want to get paid per hour for what you do? That determines what your labor cost is going to be. I also include my indirect labor as well. Even if you're not at a point where you have employees, you still want to add that into your product cost. The reason being is because at some point in your business, the whole point of being in business is to grow and expand your business. So if you start right now while it's just you, taking the indirect cost and the direct cost and adding it into your product, you can go open up a savings account, and when you make a sale, take that indirect cost, that indirect labor cost, and put it into a savings account. So that way it accrues interest, and one day you'll be able to have enough money in that account to actually be able to pay employees. So that's why I take the indirect cost and the direct cost. Another factor that you have to factor in when you're coming up with what that labor cost should be is you have to also think about if you're going to be paying medical expenses. From what I've seen so far as being a business owner, when you offer medical to your employees, you as a business owner have to pay, you have to match a certain percent of what that employee pays. So I know when I was trying to set it up at one point, if an employee paid $60 for medical insurance, then I had to also match that by $60. So you also want to equate that into that hourly pay. What else are you going to equate into that? You can also equate as far as if you want to do paid holidays, vacation time, overtime. Some of that needs to be put into that labor cost. So the way I do it is I have the labor cost set for direct labor at $15 and indirect labor set at, I have direct labor set at $16 per hour, and then indirect labor set at $15 per hour, and that's what's coming out of each product. Now, do I charge that per product? Let's say I have, let's use, what can I use? Let's use my bath salts, for example. I'm not charging. Okay, so if I sell my bath salts for $35, 15 out of that $35 is not the $15 an hour that I'm charging for the labor. What I do is I add up the direct labor and the indirect labor. Sorry, I got a call. So if my indirect labor is 15 and my direct labor is 16, that's $31. I add that up, right? Then I divide that amount by how many of that same product I can produce within an hour. So if I can make 100 bath salts at one time, we've already determined that my labor cost right now is going to put me at $31 an hour. If I can produce 100 bath salts within that hour, I'm going to divide the $31 by 100, and that's going to give me 31 cents. So for every bath salt that I sell, I need to take out 31 cents to be able to pay into my indirect labor and into my direct labor. So let's look at products where you may be only to produce one of those items in 1 hour. I'll use my press-on nails for example. Right now it takes me 1 hour to create one set of press-on nails. So the labor cost for that is already at $23 an hour because it takes me an hour to be able to produce it. So the main thing to remember when coming up with your labor cost is whatever that dollar amount that you have set is, make sure you're dividing that by how many you can make per hour. So, I hope this video has helped you. It's very easy and simple to be able to come up with your labor costs. Like I said, there's so many different ways that you can come up with it. This is just what has helped me along the way, and I hope it helps you. I look forward to seeing you the next time. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my videos.